Let's start on page 121 in your grammar book, 121. Okay, 121. This is a review page. It says at the top, review it. We've talked about these sentence openers before. You're pretty familiar with these. Plus, I know you're already using a couple of them in your writing. So we're going to talk about sentence openers today. It is a descriptive word. The opener is a descriptive word, phrase, or clause that is added to the beginning of a sentence. Using different types of sentence openers makes writing more interesting. That's why we use these, because really we tend to start sentences the same, just because that's what we're used to. But this is forcing you, when you get to the writing part, forcing you to start sentences differently so that it's more interesting to read and more fun, actually. So the number one opener is the subject opener, number one subject. It's a sentence that begins with the subject of the sentence. It might not be the very first word. It might have an adjective in front of it or an article in front of it. But if that's the first main part of the sentence, it's considered a subject opener. So here's an example of it being the first word. Timmy climbed into the basket. That's obvious. It's Timmy's the subject of the sentence. This is a subject opener. It's the very first word. And then there's a number two prepositional opener. It's a sentence that begins with a prepositional phrase, like this one. In the morning, Timmy climbed into the basket. So in the morning is the prepositional phrase, and it's the first part of the sentence. So it's a number two prepositional opener. And then the number three is the ly adverb opener. It's a sentence that begins with an ly adverb. Finally, Timmy climbed into the basket. So this one has the ly. This is a number three opener. So we have a number one, number two, and number three. It says here, practice writing sentences with different sentence openers. Write a sentence that begins with a number one subject opener using the following words. Mouse arrived, garden. A number one opener is a subject opener. So can you think of a sentence, a complete sentence that uses the words mouse arrived, garden? London, what do you think?
Um, the mouse arrived in the garden.
Yep, I like it. That's a good one. The mouse arrived in the garden. So let's go ahead and write that right here. The mouse arrived in the garden. And you're right, mouse is the subject. So that's a number one subject opener. Even though it has the word the, that's an article. That doesn't matter. It's still considered a number one opener. How about a number two prepositional opener? Add a number two prepositional opener to your sentence. So we're going to need something before something, 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 the mouse arrived in the garden. So what can we add to that sentence as a prepositional opener? You guys think of one? And number two. So we're going to use this as the second half of the sentence, the mouse arrived in the garden. But what can we add before that? If you need to look back on your page with the prepositions, you can. In your book, you should have a post-it there. Anybody think of a prepositional opener? London, you got one?
In the morning, the mouse arrived in the garden.
Yes, that would work. In the morning, the mouse arrived in the garden. Good job. Anybody else have one? Prepositional opener? Because in the morning, in is a preposition. So in the morning, at is also a preposition. It could be at night, the mouse arrived in the garden. That could be another one. Anybody else think of one? A prepositional opener? Before is a preposition. You could say, no, not before. I don't think before is actually. Get your list in the back here. Let's see, you have, oh, it's not in the back. Where is your list? It is on page 13. Yeah, before is a preposition, but how about like between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, the mouse arrived in the garden. Did you have one, Sydney?
Between noon and night, the mouse arrived to the garden.
Good, that's a good one. Yeah. All right. You get the idea. Let's do the one London suggested in the morning. In the morning, the mouse arrived. And then I'm just going to do dot, 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 because we don't need to write the whole thing. It's right here. In the morning, the mouse arrived, blah, 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 in the garden. How about an ly adverb? Somethingly, the mouse arrived in the garden. What about an ly opener? Anybody have a good one for that? Somethingly, the mouse arrived in the morning. Could be excitedly, the mouse arrived in the garden. Hungrily, the mouse arrived in the garden. Slowly, the mouse arrived in the garden.
Would happily in a garden work?
Happily, yes, happily, the mouse arrived in the garden. Hi, Olivia. We're on page 121, okay? So pick which one you like best for now. Oh, you got one, London? What's your idea?
Finally,
Finally, yep, that's a good one too. So whatever word you use, I'm going to put slowly, but you pick whatever one you want to use. Put a comma after it. The mouse arrived, and then I'm going to do dot, dot, dot again. So slowly could be one, or happily, or hungrily, or quickly, or sleepily. There's a ton of them. You pick which one you want. And then here it just says rewrite the sentence with your favorite opener, add quality adjectives and ly adverbs, illustrate if you wish. I'm going to let you do that later if you want to play with that sentence a little bit more there. But these are the three openers they wanted you to practice. The subject opener is number 1, prepositional opener is number 2, and ly adverb opener is number 3. All right, let's go to page 123 next. And how about London? Can you read that sentence, please?
shortly before noon, one dazzling spring day, Timmy sat by his burrow.
Nice. Good job. Dazzling. What a great word. Dazzling. It means like so bright that it's blinding. Like it's just like, ow. And I don't know about you guys if you've ever been to the mountains when it snows and the sun's out, because we had snow up here last week at my house a lot. And then the sun came out and it was like, it was hard to even open your eyes. It was so bright. The snow was just like dazzling. Okay. So check vocabulary. there are 4 nouns. How about Megan? Where are the 4 nouns?
Noon,
Good.
borrow, or is that barrow?
Burrow, actually.
Oh,
And yes,
burrow.
that is a noun. Do you know what a burrow is?
Yes.
Oh, good. What is it? Can you explain it?
You could put things in a barrow and it looks like kind of like a cylinder.
Oh, you're thinking barrel.
Animal.
That's a little bit different.
My mom says it's an
That
animal.
bunny, something bunny has a
Yeah,
burrow, lives in a
they
burrow.
kind of dig a
Oh,
You
hole.
remember that
Yeah,
one?
like a hole or like a place in the bushes. They make a little safe
Like
place
the
to hide.
squirrel that made a burrow by our driveway.
oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a bad place to do that. Yeah.
But you're right. It
Day,
is a noun, though. Burrow is a noun. So what else do you see there? There's 2
day,
more nouns.
Timmy,
Timmy
day.
and day. Good job. Adjectives, Christopher. Where are the adjectives? We've got 4.
Spring,
Spring.
his,
Yep.
before,
Not before. Look at day again. There's a couple more words.
one,
One, but we need to fix that, right? Need to write that out. Okay.
and dazzling,
Good. So we've got one is an adjective, dazzling is an adjective, spring is an adjective. So 3 adjectives in a row right there describing day. How about the ly adverb, Sydney?
short,
Good. Shortly is the adjective. I mean, not adjective, the adverb. We're going to come back to prepositional phrases, but how about Olivia? Can you find the verbs? There's just one. You see the verb there? What was Timmy doing?
He sat by his burrow.
Yes, so sat is the verb and Timmy is the subject, right? He's the one that's doing the sitting. So sat is what he's doing, that's the verb. And now the prepositional phrases, London, where are those at?
Um, before noon
Good, before noon.
and by his burrow.
And by his burrow, good job. And then how about the opener, Megan? What kind of an opener is this? What is it starting with here?
Adjective?
No, it has ly. Do you remember what opener that is?
You got reading your writing?
Oh,
What's LY, baby?
3.
Which is what?
Liver.
LY.
Burr.
Not burr.
It's
You
actually
know
add.
LY, you're overthinking it.
Liver.
No,
Adverb.
There you go. You got it. ly adverb. You had it. I know you had it. So it's a number 3. You're right about that. It's a ly adverb opener. Starts with shortly. Good. And then we've got 2 capitals. You guys can find that. End mark, just a period, and then we already fixed the number, so we got it. When you guys sit down to do your homework for grammar, it's really important to remember to read the sentence out loud first. When you first sit down, don't just start going down the list. Read the sentence like we do in class, okay? Because it helps to hear the whole sentence, and then you can start breaking it apart and looking for certain things. So make sure you do that first. All right. You guys have been working on a report about a country. And go ahead and get that out. You have 3 paragraphs so far about a country of your choice. This has been kind of fun. I'm hoping you guys have your paragraphs done so you can share them today because it's going to be kind of fun to learn about other countries as you share your paragraphs. So does anybody feel like reading or sharing what paragraphs you have about your country? Let me see who's turned it in here real quick. I did get to look at some of them this morning. And let's see. Oops, hold on. I haven't had a chance to grade them yet, but I see that you turned them in. I see London's and Megan's. And I think, Megan, you wrote about Ireland and London wrote about Thailand. So, but before we go there, let me ask Christopher, did you write your paragraphs yet?
I have one more paragraph to do.
You're still working on it. I know Sydney's still working on it. How about you, Olivia? Did you get to finish yours yet?
I just need a couple more dress ups.
Okay, so you're close. That's good. So I would love to hear London's and Megan's if you could read yours, or I can read it for you if you'd rather me read it. That's okay too. So what do you think, London? Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it for you? Either way.
You can read it.
You want me to read it? Okay. How about you, Megan? Do you want to read yours or do you want me to read yours for you?
I'll read mine.
Okay, so let me get London's up here first. I'll start with hers and then you can read yours. Let's see. Because I'm excited to hear about what you guys wrote about. Whoops. Oh, click on that. Okay. London wrote about Thailand. A trip in Thailand. Thailand is known for its delicious food. Around the country, the main food or staples of Thailand are usually rice, pork, and noodles. Interestingly enough, Thai food commonly contains 5 flavor profiles in one dish, which are sweet, spicy, sour, bitter, and salty. That's interesting. Papaya salad is a Thai dish that has a strong bitter flavor. Because the weather is humid, Thailand grows tropical fruits like papaya, mango, durian, and jackfruit. Although the majority of Thailand is Buddhist, Muslims live near the border of Malaysia. In Thai culture, people honor others. For example, when greeting one another, the younger person will usually bow first, which shows respect to the older person. As the greetings showcase, Thai elders are respected because they make their family's decisions. Typically, most Thai people are Buddhists, so they often visit religious temples weekly. Buddhism is a big part of Thai culture. In Thailand, the language they speak is called Thai. In Thai, there are 44 consonants and 16 vowels. Wow. Interestingly, the Thai language is a tonal language, which means that one word can be said in different tones and have different meanings. Although unique in other ways, Thai is similar to Mandarin, Lao, and Vietnamese because they are all tonal languages. Standard Thai is based on the dialect of Central Thai people. The Royal Thai government in Thailand recognizes exactly 62 languages. Wow. So different than America. This is so different than America. Good job, London. Let's give her a clap in the camera. I really like this. I learned a lot just from your paper too. Wow. Super cool. And in America, a lot of times when we greet each other, we either give a hug or a handshake if if you're meeting somebody. But in Thailand, it sounds like they bow. That's one of the things they do that's different. And then, of course, the food is very different than American food. And then their language, I didn't know that about tones. So that is super interesting to me. But I love that we all learned something from your paper. So good job, London. And I see all your dress ups in there, your openers, topic clinchers. And then Megan wrote about Ireland. So do you want me to pull up yours, Megan, or do you want to just read it from
I
your
want you to pull it up
pull it
first.
up? I got it. Okay, let me find it real quick here. And then I'll share it. I'm glad you're gonna read it because I really like yours as well. I know we were working on it the other day. Let me share it. Hi, Julio. I see that you're here.
Can you make it bigger, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How about that? Is that good?
Yeah, the
Okay.
country of Ireland is beautiful. Oh, oops, I meant to read the title. Ireland's geography. Geography and nature. The country of Ireland is beautiful. Ireland is incredibly nicknamed the Emerald Isle. The country, which is famous for its green countryside, has hills and mountains. The Atlantic Ocean is near the west side of Ireland. In the fields, the ground looks green and lush, because there is plenty of water. Visitors walk through the landscape where there are pastures. Interestingly, two of the castles are named Barney and Delin. Oh, Delblin. Ireland is pretty. Ireland's plants and animals are unique. There are huge grasslands with purple heather and green mosses. In Ireland, there are a lot of flowers, but few trees because they were slowly cut down in order to create farmlands. The people who cut the forests down needed to have enough room for a farm. Scarcely a variety of fish and birds live in Ireland. Some mammals, such as foxes, badgers, and hedgehogs, survive in this new place.
Nice. All right, you guys. Good job, Megan. I love it. Very good. And I felt like we got a feel for what Ireland is like, especially the green, lush mountains and hills and all the interesting animals and flowers. I bet it's just so beautiful there. I've only seen pictures, but that the way you wrote it though gives us an image of what it must look like. So I like how you did that. And you got all your dress ups in there. You've got your openers and your topic clenchers. Good job. I love it. Okay, so before we move on though, let me check in with Julio because I know you missed last week. Did you get a chance to watch the video yet from last week, Julio?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
So what was the country that you picked?
I picked Japan.
Japan. Okay, good. And were you able to get started or finish your paragraphs about the three paragraphs?
I haven't turned it in yet.
Okay. But I'm glad it sounds like you're working on it, so that's good. What we're going to do today, we're going to do something a little bit different because we're going to move on to the next lesson, but we're going to still work on our country paper because we want to add a little bit more to it. It's going to be cool. So go ahead and leave the country week, what is that, week 15. You're going to leave that in your front pocket for now. And go ahead and get out week 16. And you're going to notice week 16 is called Eating Vegetables, but we're going to change that a little bit. I'll explain that in a second, but just go ahead and get that out. It's week 16. It starts on page 139 and it goes all the way to 145. So you're going to get out 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and one of them's yellow. So as I was looking ahead at this lesson while you're getting this out, I was thinking rather than starting a new topic here, a new subject, because I really like these country papers. What I love about you guys writing about a country is that, like I said earlier, we're getting to know other countries that maybe we didn't know much about. And you're learning about the one you're studying, but also as we're sharing these, you're learning about each other's countries also. Go ahead, Julio.
I don't have 4 pages. I only have 2 and a yellow page.
Um, you have the yellow page. That's good. Do you have the page 143?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's the main ones you need. So maybe later after class you can look for those other pages, but you're okay. Just keep those out, okay?
Okay.
You should have page 145 though, but it sounds like you don't have that one.
I have 145.
Oh, good. Okay, then you're good. You're good. Get those out. So let's jump over to the yellow page first that you got out. This is page 141. Give me a thumbs up if you guys have week 16 out. Good. I see that. Good. Okay. Good. So we're going to start here on the yellow page, and this is showing us a model of a 5-paragraph essay. And we're going to turn your 3 paragraphs about your country into 5 paragraphs. But don't worry, you've already done 3, so you're basically just adding 2 more. But what you've done with the 3 paragraphs you already wrote is the body paragraphs, and those paragraphs are in the middle of your paper. So if you look here at Roman numeral 2, it looks a little different than what we normally write here. It says Roman numeral 2, first topic. Roman numeral 3, second topic. This is Roman numeral 4 is your third topic. So for you guys, like London, she wrote about the food. Was it the culture next? The people in the culture? I forgot your 3 topics. Do you remember your 3 paragraphs, London, about Thailand?
Food, culture, and language.
And language, that's right. So she did 1 paragraph about the food, 1 paragraph about the culture, 1 paragraph about the language. And this pattern follows the topic sentence. And then you've got 5 to 7 details. And then that's the facts, right, that you got from your research. And then the clincher sentence. But today we're going to talk about an introduction and a conclusion. So the introduction is the very first paragraph. And the conclusion is the very last paragraph. So there's a paper we're going to look at next, and it's on page 143. So go ahead and find page 143. And this is a handy dandy template that we're going to use to help us write the introduction and conclusion. First thing you're going to notice is at the top, this is page 143. At the top, it says conclusion. So when we write a 5-paragraph essay, it's easiest to start with the body paragraphs, which you already did, and then the conclusion next. The last paragraph you're going to write is actually the conclusion, the introduction, which is ironic because the introduction is the first thing you read. But that's the order in how we do this. So we already did the body paragraphs. We're going to work on the conclusion paragraph for your country. So just ignore that it's talking about eating vegetables. We're not going to write about eating vegetables. Just ignore that. We're going to use this template for your country paper. Okay, so it says at the very top here, restate the topics. Write a sentence or two about each topic. Try to convey the main idea of each body paragraph. Highlight or bold the topic key words. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do on this page, you have a little bit of space at the very top of this page. I want you to put the name of your country at the very top of the page here. So I'm going to write the word country just to remind you. So if you wrote like London is going to put Thailand there. Megan is going to put Ireland. Julio will put Japan. So you can write country, dot, dot, and then the name of your country. Everybody should know what country they wrote about. And then under country, I want you to put topics. We're gonna have to write kind of small here. And then I want you to write like this, 3 topics. So like for London, it'll be food, culture, language. For Megan, I think you did 2 topics, which is fine. You did geography and plants and animals, I think was your second topic. So think about the 3 paragraphs you did and think about the 3 topics that you wrote about. So the name of your country and then what are the 3 topics? Give me a thumbs up when you got that written down. Okay, good. See that? Good. I see your Sydney. Good. Olivia. You got it, Christopher? So you should have 3 different topics. So I'm going to have you guys just share the country and your 3 topics. Okay, so I'll start with Julio. Tell me what country and what are the 3 topics you wrote about?
Country, Japan.
Okay.
I haven't wrote 3 topics yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on the other 2.
Okay. How about Christopher? What country and what are your 3 topics?
Nepal, nature, culture, and food.
Nature, culture, and food. Good. And then how about Olivia?
For my country, El Salvador, nature, for topics, nature, food, and festivals.
Festivals. Nice. And then Megan, just writing these down for you guys.
Ireland.
Okay. Geography, I think was your first one, right?
Yeah.
Geography
And nature.
and nature. Perfect. Okay, good. And then London.
Thailand, and the topics are food, culture, and language.
Okay, good. And then Sydney.
My country's China, and I haven't written the paragraphs yet.
Okay, so you're still trying to figure out what your 3 topics are. So when you're looking at your articles, both you and Julio, I want you to see what topics can you find in all, actually you're only using two articles, okay? You only have 2 different articles. Yes, Julio?
Actually, I have them right here.
Oh, good.
So one of history, geography, and people and culture.
Okay, good. Those are good topics. Nice. So as you're looking, Sydney, in yours, watch the video first. You're only going to pick 2 articles. So it could be National Geographic and Britannica or whatever you find, but those are the 2 common ones. And look for topics that you see in both, okay, for your paper. So down here, they give you a little template. Do you see where it says topic A, topic B, and topic C? This is where you're going to put down some keywords about your topic. So for instance, London wrote about Thailand, but her first topic was food. Don't write food if this wasn't you. This is for London, okay? So she would put food, comma, blank, comma, blank. Her next topic was culture, comma, blank, comma, blank. So whatever your 3 topics were, I want you to list them here too. So just copy what you wrote at the top. Down here, everybody's is going to be different. So I just use London's as an example. Copy your topic here that you wrote from up here, and then 2 more words about that topic. If your topic was food, you might put delicious, but you might put unique or interesting or spicy or something about the food that is special to Thailand if you wrote about food. Does that make sense, London? So two words here to go with your topic, food. So for Megan, your first one was geography. So you would put geography here, and then 2 more words that describe the geography in Ireland. You would just put geography and maybe green hills, something like that. Okay. Or mountains. Could draw a little mountain because you can only use 3 keywords here, but you can draw little pictures if you want to add more detail. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to fill out A, B, and C here. You're using your topics from up here. So this would be like topic A, topic B, topic C up here. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you got, I know you're gonna have to wait on this part, Sydney, because you gotta write your other paragraphs first, but give me a thumbs up when you got these 3 filled in, topic A, topic B, and topic C. And your keywords here are gonna be basically what would sum up that topic. Like for yours, Olivia, I know your topic C was festivals. Maybe name a couple festivals or, describe one of them here. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions about what we're doing. I see that thumbs up. Good. Okay. Okay. Looks like, Christopher, did you get a chance to finish it? Okay, good. It looks like you're there. So now you've got each of these is going to be a sentence in your first or in your conclusion paragraph, which happens to be the last paragraph of your paper. So this paragraph is going to go under the 3 paragraphs you already wrote. The next thing I want you to do is put a box around your topic words. So if it's food, culture, history, whatever your topic word for that body paragraph, these that you wrote down here, put a box around it. And that's because the format, when you write your conclusion, instead of doing a topic clincher for this one, you're just going to highlight or bold the topic words. So you're actually going to highlight or bold 3 words. And it's going to be in each of these sentences. So the format is a little bit different for the conclusion paragraph. You're not going to do a topic clincher, and I'll show you on the checklist how it looks because it tells it a little bit different on the checklist. So whatever the word is here, if it's like for Megan, you would put a box around geography, and then you'll put a box around plants and animals. You probably have two boxes here because you kind of did both on the next one, or nature. I can't remember what word you used, but you could put a box around nature. And for Olivia, yours would be nature, food, festivals. London, food, culture, language. Olivia, nature, I already said yours. Christopher, nature, culture, food. So thumbs up if you put a box around your topic words. That's to remind you, good, when you go to actually write or type this paragraph, use either a highlight or bold for these words that you put a box around. All right. The next part in a conclusion paragraph is the most significant and why. So let's jump back up here where it's talking about what this means. Most significant and why. It says, what is the most important, most interesting, or most significant thing to remember about all that you wrote and why? You may choose one of your topics and tell why it is the most significant, or you may choose something that tells the importance of the entire subject. So I want you to think now, your entire subject is your country that you chose. So Julio's subject is Japan, Christopher's is Nepal, Olivia's is El Salvador, and Megan's is Ireland, and London's is Thailand, and Sydney's is China. That's your main subject. So think about that country, and do you want to mention that that is the most important thing about your paper is this country, or choose one of your topics that you think is most interesting about your paper? Like maybe for London's, the language, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting things she told us about with her paper about Thailand. I didn't know that there was this tonal thing. So think about what you think is most significant, like what you want the person who's reading your paper, what you want them to remember is the most important, most significant, most interesting about your paper. And I also want you to, while you're thinking about that, I want you to be thinking about that at the very bottom here. I want you to write this sentence in this blank down here. I want you to write the most important part about blank. This will be your country. I'm just going to write it underneath here about your country. So you'll write either Ireland. Oh, sorry. Let me make this better so you can see it better. The most important part about Japan, the most important part about Ireland, the most important part about whatever your country is blank because blank. Now you can just leave those blank because you're going to figure that out later. And you might decide instead of the most important, you might use the word interesting. I'm going to put that right above important just in case you want to say the most interesting part about Japan. How about this? The most interesting part about Thailand is the language because they use tonals or tones to convey meaning. That would be a great sentence. The most interesting part about Thailand is their language because they use tone to convey their meaning. So I'm giving you a template here to use for this part of your conclusion. And guess what? You have the word because here. So you get to use that as your dress up. Yay! Julio. And in fact, you could use either interesting or important for your quality adjective too. I think you have that on your checklist. Let me double check here. Yep, you do. That could be also underlined. Okay, so back up here. Most significant. So I want you to try to put some 3 key words here. We're writing down some notes on this template to help us when we go to write the paragraph. So think about something that you think is important, significant. About your country. And let me know if you guys need any help with that. I can help you specifically. You can raise your hand. And then for these lines below, you don't have to use all of them, but I want you to just write down some keywords about why it's interesting. If I use like London's example about the language, she can go into a little bit more detail about why that's interesting. Maybe something you could say, London, is how it's so different than English, because you know English. Maybe you can compare it to English somehow. Okay. If you don't want to talk about the language, if you want to talk about the country, maybe because of where it's located is so far away from America. So there's some different ideas you can use here. So let me check in with you while you guys are writing about this. Olivia, have you thought about what's most important or most interesting about your country yet? Or what you think is the most interesting thing you've learned so far? I have an idea for you, but let me hear your idea.
Probably the festivals.
The festivals, okay. I was wondering for you, because your family is from El Salvador, right? That you could actually mention that in your conclusion, like the most significant or the most important part about El Salvador is that my family is from there. Something about that, if you want. You can include that in your last paragraph. Maybe you could talk about the festivals, but then you could also say another significant thing is that my family is from El Salvador and I got to learn about where they came from. Something like that. Okay. Did you have an idea, Julio?
No, I was done.
Okay. What did you come up with your most important thing?
Um, you mean the most significant?
Most
Or
significant? Yep.
the tech, naturalness, and healthiness.
Okay. Because have you thought about a reason why that's most significant?
That's what I'm on right now.
Okay. So you keep thinking about that. Um, how about you, Megan? Did you come up with something that was most significant or interesting or important?
Say,
I got most interesting about no snakes in Ireland.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. Yeah, I would think there would be. So why do you think that's the most interesting?
Hmm.
You have to think about that one, huh? Because you need to explain why.
where are snakes?
Hmm.
They're not in Ireland, where are they?
Snakes are in like entire deserts or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in reptile zoos.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that they don't have snakes, um, because most countries probably do have snakes, but maybe they don't because of the way the weather is or the geography of the place. Yeah. Good. Okay, that's a good idea. Excuse me. How about Christopher? What did you pick for most significant?
the culture.
And why do you think that's the most significant thing?
There's a lot of interesting things and people.
I agree with that. And you could even talk about how it's so different than America too. hmm I think that's interesting too. A lot with a lot of the countries you're writing about, even yours, Megan, it's just so different than where we live here. So that could be something you can explain in the conclusion. So as you're writing this conclusion, you're going to use your notes here. But obviously you're going to have to add more sentences when you go to write this paragraph because you still need to figure out where your dress ups are going to go, where your openers are going to go, and you don't have topic clincher, but you're going to highlight those topic words. But let's go ahead and turn it over to the back side of this page now on page 144. This is actually the introduction. It has a little bit of a different format on this template here. So let's go to page 144 on the back. This is the introduction. So this is the very, very, very first paragraph that you're going to have on your paper. It's the very first paragraph. And the very, very, very first sentence of your first paragraph needs to have an attention getter. And attention getter means a sentence that makes the reader want to keep reading. Because if you start, I'll give you an example of not a great, like a bad attention getter. If you said, this report is about Japan, that's boring, right? But if you change it and you say it in such a way where it makes the reader want to know more, it's suggesting here you can start your introduction with a sentence that encourages your reader to continue reading. Begin with a question, a fact or statistic, or a very short sentence. Now, a question can be something like, have you ever been to Japan? Or did you know that Japan is several islands? Or did you know Japan is on the other side of the world? You can think of a question like that. Or you can think of a fact or statistic. Now, this is where you can look back on your papers or your research and see if you can find something that you haven't written about that's an interesting fact, like the population. Like the population of Japan is a crazy number. I don't even know what it is, but it's a huge. Let's see, who's writing about Japan? Julio, do you know what the population of Japan is?
Let me look.
Yeah, I bet you could find it in your papers that you printed there. That would be an interesting fact or statistic about your country. Think of something that's kind of like a shocking fact. So you guys can look that up in the articles that you were reading, like a really interesting fact that maybe not one of your topics, but something that's like, whoa, what? I didn't know that. Did you figure it out, Julio?
My thing doesn't say anything about how many
Okay.
people.
Okay. That is something you guys can look up. If you want to look up an interesting fact or statistic, you can go ahead and just circle where it says fact or statistic. And you're going to look for like when you go to Google with your parent, you can Google interesting fact for kids. Okay, that's how you would Google it. Interesting fact about Japan for kids. Interesting fact about Ireland for kids. Interesting fact about Nepal for kids. Okay, so make sure you guys use for kids. But the other thing, and I'll put this in your Google Classroom, make sure you sit down with a parent when you go to Google. Okay, that's an option. The other option is just a very short sentence. So a very short sentence is like 2 to 5 words. It's a VSS. I know we haven't really talked about that a lot yet, but it's a really, really, really short sentence. You could start that. So right here for attention getter, If you know what you're going to put for that, you can write down some keywords here or even your sentence if you want to write that down. If you don't know yet, you can think about this later, but you're going to think about either a question, an interesting fact, or a very short sentence to start your paper. Okay, so be thinking about that. I got to move on to these other parts here. The background. Let's move down to this one. The background. Tell your reader about the subject of the composition is about by making a general statement about the subject. Then provide background information you think would be interesting or important. The background information should flow into the introduction of the topic. So remember, this is your first paragraph. Okay. Your background could be where your country is located. So a lot of the countries that you picked are in the other part of the world. So you can mention, sorry, I got a tick. I'm going to put in parentheses here. Sorry, guys. Woo. Hold on. Sorry. Woo. Like a little coughing fit.
Are you okay?
I am okay. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but it's like a tickle. Anyway, yes, I'm okay. Sorry. Down here, I'm just going to draw this out. Excuse me. You're going to notice that this is similar to the conclusion. I'm okay. Sorry, guys. And you're going to list, man, I don't know if I can finish this class. List your topics here, and you're going to bold or highlight those in your introduction paragraph, okay? But it's going to be different keywords than your conclusion because you don't want to write it exactly the same. So I will try to explain this a little bit better on your Google Classroom. I'm sorry, guys, I have to end the class. It's already time to go anyway, but I'll explain this on the Google Classroom. Make sure that you read my notes about that, okay? I'm okay though. Don't worry about me. It's just a tickle. Like I just got to cough until it's gone. All right, you guys, I'll see you next week.